Live. Am I live? Events here. Let's see. Man, this is taking a while. I've been at it for now almost an hour trying to get this thing set up live now. Let's see. You don't have any events that are live now. Really? Well, that's interesting because according to this thing, I do. 5:30. Let's see. So upcoming 0 completed. Let's see. Come on. It doesn't show me the. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Listen.
It's so crazy.
Wall Street and banks spend
Whoa.
billions of dollars per year in
Okay, let me turn the sound off here. Okay, all right. I guess I am live. It's just it takes this thing a while. My connection is actually really slow now, and so I don't know. I might cut off. It might be intermittent. We might get some slow things or whatever. But anyways, here we go. Now I'm starting to see some people. Caspers. Wait, Caspers? Caspers, is that Croonings? Is that how you pronounce your name? Hi, you're the first one that came in and said hi. Hello, everyone. It took me this long to set up my system here. I hadn't used it in a while, and you know, computers, you have to reset them, right? Like do the firmware update, and then once you do the firmware update, all your settings are gone, so that means you have to reconfigure everything and try to connect. And it took just a long time to do that. Greetings from Germany, Indy. Welcome. Belgian people, people from the UK. All right, Europe is in the house today. I am live. What is the best 1860 battery, Panasonic or LG? Ooh, I don't know. Both I think are doing great batteries. I actually have some LG batteries from that LG deal that didn't go through. That they're performing really good, right up right up against what the Panasonics are doing on the Model S, right, on the Tesla cells. But of course, we don't have the life thing, right? We don't have the life data because on the phones they don't last that long. And if you've seen some of my latest videos, it's all about real world data more so than just, you know, like lab testing. That's the crazy thing about this. These batteries have been around for a long time, right? For like 18650s have been around for, you know, a decade, more than a decade, and they just never really been used in a car that has gotten, you know, hundreds of thousands of miles over the lifespan of like 5-10 years. It just hasn't happened. No one did that. If someone had done that, you know, 10 years ago, then we would have that data. And even if someone did, it's like one guy somewhere and no one knows about him. I don't know about him. Maybe a few of you guys know about him. But here's the first large scale thing that's happening with these cells, right? And so it would have been cool to have done the Samba with these LG batteries, because then 10 years from now we would be like, oh yeah, these, you know, these batteries are great, and they kind of, you know, they perform just like what Tesla's using or whatever. Okay, where are we now? Greetings from Australia. All right. Portugal. There we go. Have you discussed solid-state lithium-ion batteries? No, not the new ones. I do want to make a video about that because I find it really interesting. That the fact that like the scientific community is kind of boggled by this new tech. They don't really know how this solid-state. It's a solid-state electrolyte works, right? And so everybody wants to declare it a bogus battery or whatever, but because it's good enough, right? The father of all lithium technology or whatever, no one dares to. So they're saying like, well, this guy is saying that it's a legit battery it must be a legit battery, but we don't know. We don't know what it is. And they really didn't release all the details as to how it works. They just basically said this works. And it seems like too good to be true. They're like saying some crazy, the claims are really crazy. Like, like twice everything, twice the energy density, 4 times the power, density, the safety things are like way off the charts. So everyone's kind of skeptical, but no one's. I think everyone's afraid to call it bogus or a hoax or whatever. And I think what I find really interesting is that a lot of the research was done by the female researcher, right? Braga, I think her last name is. And I find that, I don't know. I find it really. What is the word here that I want to use? I'm kind of proud, I guess, that she speaks Spanish. She's not like, I think she's Portuguese or whatever, but she speaks fluent Spanish. And I saw one of the interviews with her in Spanish, which was like, oh my God, like a Spanish-speaking person, it's at the forefront, at the of the battery technology, which is crazy. So no, I haven't discussed those batteries, but I want to. I want to make a video. As I want to make so many videos about so many things. Let's see. Let's see here. Can I ask questions about my setup? That's Sanders Screws. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, man. We'll try to get them answered as much as we can here. Your good video seems fine. What's going on? New Zealand. Welcome, New Zealand. I almost gave up. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't give up. I almost gave up. I was trying to set this thing up, and it's like, this thing is amazing. Like, by the way, I do want to, hopefully, I'm not going to kill this thing. This is a plug here for this device. It's a Vimeo Video Pro, Teradek Video Pro. It allows me to get online rather quickly. So when it works perfect. But when it doesn't work, it just doesn't work, and it takes a long time to set it up and stuff. Anyways, these Teradek sent me one of their like early units, so it's also not the latest when it comes to hardware. Right? It's one like pre-production unit. This thing doesn't even have, I think, serial number or whatever. But I just updated it, and I always was trying not to update it, but. Just because I didn't want to deal with the thing because it takes a long time, but I think finally it just didn't work today and I had to update it, and now here I am. Right, once it's working, it's cool. It's like you get to see it on your phone here, and I think with the newest upgrade now I could actually go live not only here on YouTube, but I can simultaneously go live on Facebook and a bunch of other platforms, which is cool because then I can leverage, like all the audience that I have here on YouTube. I also on Facebook, because on Facebook, no one knows I exist over there, right? Like I have like, I don't know, 800 likes or something in my page over there. If you have a Facebook and you're not following me on Facebook, go sign up on Facebook. I'll put a link right here so that you can help me out over there. Because I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do the Facebook thing for, right? Because it's Facebook is one of those things that you have to pay to play. I've heard people refer to it as that, and it's very powerful because there's a lot of people there. And so we want to build an audience. Here's a link so that you can go and like my page. I really appreciate it if you guys will do that. So in the future, I'm probably going to try and do something with that. The audience then if I build a large audience over there, they can transfer over here or whatever. And when, YouTube decides that they don't like me and they ban me from their website, I still want to have another audience somewhere else. I got to think about that stuff because, things are not looking real good for people on YouTube, especially that want to make money or whatever. All right. Let's see where we are. Poland. Wow. Poland is in the house here. Let me see. Again, yeah, I want to skip some of the questions. This is hard, guys. You gotta like stay on top, right? And not talk too much. And that's a problem for me because I just like to talk. What is the advantage of 2170s over 18650s. We don't know, but I think it's less packaging material, right? Because they're a little bit taller and a little bit wider, and so per every ounce of battery material, then there's less packaging material, right? And so because the way they design the batteries, there's a canister, and then there's air, and then there's cooling like stuff, and then there's another canister, right? So if you increase that by 30%, the volume of each canister, then I think there's, I don't know what percentage it is less, but overall when it comes to like 8,000 cells or whatever, I think that's just it. I don't think there's much more to it. There's no like magical thing. That's exactly what I love about Tesla. They just don't, yeah, they're super practical company, and their designers and their engineers over there are just great. And I think that's just it. You increase the size of the battery, you decrease the size of all the non-battery materials when it comes to a big, large pack, which at this point are still kind of big. You have to have that because you got to have structural integrity. You have to do a bunch of things, cooling and all this other stuff. Oh man, there's messages in other languages. You're gonna have to. I'm not gonna be able to answer those. Jay Garcia, if I give you 100 kilowatt hours of batteries, what will you build out of it? If you build 2 times units, I will provide you with 100 kilowatt hour for free. Oh, that's Eric. Well, let's see. What can we build with 100 kilowatt hours? I mean, there's like a lot of things. An awesome car. 100. I mean, you're proving already 100 kilowatt hour in a car. We'll go a long way. You can, you showed that you can beat a Tesla any day, right? Because that test was actually very, very good what you did there. I always wonder what 85 kilowatt hours a battery will do in a car that is in this massive sedan that weighs like 6,000 pounds, right? And the Chevy Bolt, right, with the B or whatever. That it's proven that you can do a lot, right? It got 270 some miles on just 60 kilowatt hours. Now imagine if you put 100 kilowatt hours. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit bigger, heavier, or whatever. But yeah, if you just stay like my bus or that new car that you're working, right? That single cab down there, 100 kilowatt hours. Man, that would make an awesome car. But I think what would be really awesome would also be like to have a DIY power wall, right? Like 100 kilowatt hour DIY power wall. I think it's a statement. It's saying like, look, these batteries are trash. These batteries are discarded. They're already on their way to recycling. In fact, they're taken from a recycling facility, and now they're going to be powering my house. Not only like a house, 100 kilowatt hours. I mean, at 1C, you can power that for 3 days, right? I mean, you can power a whole building. I think it would be interesting to do that. Like, oh, let's power a factory with these trash cells. You know what I mean? Like, that would be really, really, really awesome. I mean, it would make a statement like we need to keep these off of the landfills. We need to keep these off of even recycling centers. It's like they need to be taken. It shouldn't be shredded to pieces so that you can use the raw materials, but they should right back diverted into other uses where they're not so demanding like their original use, like a car or whatever it is. And by the way, you can always go bigger. Like if the batteries are weak and they don't hold as much, you could always just double your size of your battery, and then that battery now will be able to use to meet the performance requirements that you want, right? So you can have batteries that are like just next to dying, like almost dead. You just increase 10 times what it would take from a new pack, and then you would get the performance because you're only using, because you decrease each cell by whatever factor of growth you do. So I think that is pretty cool. What do you say? What do you want to build with me using 200 kilowatt hours of good LG Chem cells battery packs. Oh wow. And see, and the thing about those LG Chem cells that you have, Eric, those things are amazing. Those are power cells. Those, I mean, you can, with 100 kilowatt hour power, 100 kilowatt hour power wall, man, we could power something big. I mean, like something massive. I mean, it's right. So when we did our test on those cells, they put out 800 amps each, right? And they're like 40 something amps. So what do we say? It was like 6C or 10C. I don't remember exactly how many, but I mean, 100 kilowatt hours. That means you can, yeah, those things could provide, yeah, about 600 kilowatts of power. Let's figure out what we can power with. What needs 600 kilowatts? And then let's make a battery for it. And here's the thing. Maybe we can do like a giant drone that picks up a car. How about that? Like that's something that would hit the news, right? That's something that, yeah, the media will pick up on that, right? It's like, oh, we're going to use this drone to move this car from right here to right there, just because, with trash cells. These are recycled batteries, recycle everything. I'd say that'd be really interesting to do. Here we go. Let's see. Where are we? Crazy. Okay, we're talking about crazy stuff. I have. Hello, sir. Been so shareable video, loving the channel. All right, thank you. I have 140 cells, most 1500 to 2000 milliamp hours. I get to max 300 cells. Is it enough for a power wall? And what voltage should I work with? 24, 48. 48 is always better because then your cells have to put out less power. It depends how much energy you want. What are you powering? How much do you need? You know, it's like not every household is the same. You know, not every car is the same motor, whatever. So you have to figure out what you need to power, like whatever it is that you want to power, what your energy consumption is going to be, and then you can work your way backwards from there. Yeah, I get a lot of questions like that, and it's hard to answer them when you don't have all the details. Why do you think the lithium-ion battery made the Galaxy Note blow up? Are they not good batteries? I believe that was a design flaw. They were trying to make them not like rectangular, not square, but they were trying to do like odd shape so they can fit it better in the device. And I guess the manufacturing, they just didn't get it right. They just, you know, at the corners, they were bunching, or there was something that was causing shorts right at the corners of the battery side. And I think it was inner corners, not outer corners, because each battery has 4 outer corners, but it was the inner corners. And I believe that I read an article that said that they had sent those batteries to like 3 or 4 different independent labs and teams to check on it, and they all came back with the same thing. They all isolated the problem on the corners and the fact that they were trying to do oddly shaped batteries and stuff. So yeah. Let's see here. Have you any news about more efficient solar batteries? 70 to 80% efficiency. I'm not really sure what that means. What do you mean? 70 or 80% efficiency. I'm 35 miles from you. Where are you in Manchester? Oh, I don't know. I'm not in Manchester. I'm actually in Los Angeles area. Let's see. If that wasn't for me, there's some problems. By the way, thank you, Peter. I think he just did a super, what is that called? Where you keep donated $10 to this chat thing here. Thank you. Now you can do that. There's a $sign there, and it's a way to help content creators do the thing here. Let's see. Since I never use my battery electric car by the end, I think top balancing is the best solution for me. What do you think? Yeah, top balancing is by far the easiest one, right? It's just you'll have to set up a thing where you won't take them really down, or when you're getting down where it disables your system. Because if it's left up to you and you're about 2 blocks away from your house, it's like, unless you are really disciplined human being, which most of us aren't, we will say like, screw it, I just need to get home. we'll deal with the problem later, and then you'll just push the batteries past their limits, kill them. Remember, at the bottom, they die instantly. I mean, from one moment to the next, they're done. And so, yeah, that's what most likely is going to end up happening. So yeah, if you disable your car or you design your system to just disable it, then you can save them like that. Yeah, but I'm actually not practicing what I preach in my bus right now with all the Tesla Model Smart modules that I have. Just because I didn't want to go through the whole thing or whatever, and I didn't have time. They're all top balance, and in fact, I checked them, and I'm working on a video where I showed you what is the current state of the batteries right now. I went and checked all of them and whatever, and I don't know if you'll be surprised. I was a bit surprised. What I found in both ways, yeah, it was kind of mixed feelings there as to what the state of my batteries are, at least on the top. I'm going to try and get it down safely, and then once I'm down, I'll be able to check the you know, all the voltages and see where they're at or whatever. All right, greetings from Toronto. I was studying some NASA document, and it seems that the standard fire extinguisher will not put out an 18650 fire and requires an extinguisher that is several $100. Hello from Washington, D.C. That's probably true. Although it would be super nice to put it to the test. Cartwright, Durka. Maybe I'll contact a fire extinguisher company and see if they can, you know, if they'll do the thing. All right, another $5. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. I'm still in office, and right now make a power wall. Yeah, Casper, you have a lot of batteries, man. That would make a really cool power wall. I think Casper says he has 9,000 cells. Is that what you said? That's a lot. Did I just go back? I just see another question that I answered already. Oh yeah. I went backwards. How does that work? Okay, what do you think is the limit for 18650, whatever the technology? 20,000 milliamp hours? Wait, for a single cell? No, it's I mean, we're at 3,500 milliamps, and I think that's about as much as they can squeeze in that canister, in that form factor, right? At least with the technology right now, with the chemistries that we have. Maybe someday, some other, you know, as they keep developing the chemistries, we'll be able to, you know, put more in there or whatever. Solid state equals low life cycles. Not good. Probably. I mean, I think from what's out there right now, that might be the case, right? But according to Good Enough and his team out there, the solid state electrolyte batteries on the new lithium or whatever that are coming out, it's going to be, I mean, they're claiming some crazy stuff. I don't know. I won't believe it until I get my hands on them and I test them, because that's my thing, right? People say a bunch of things and I usually don't believe it. All right, another $10. Thank you for, who was that? Does it tell me? Oh, Jaron Ware. Yeah, it does tell me. Oh yeah, here we go. Thank you, Jaron. How do you do this? Let's see. All right, let's see. Where are we? Jehu, I want to, yo, that's the one. What do you want to build with me? Let's build something, Eric. Definitely we'll do something together. I have seen someone modify. No, you gotta tell us. Ed China was up to. You gotta tell us what Ed China was up to? Is that, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Maybe that picture that was out in, by EV West? I haven't been down to EV West in a couple of weeks, or since last week or whatever. So I don't really know. I'm up like with you guys. Let's see. 300 amp hours of 12 volts for my van to camp on. How many cells is that? I can't wait to run into you someday. Love your videos and rig. Wait, 300 amp hours? of 12-volt for my van to come out. Oh, that's a simple thing, right? What do you have to do? You have to. So you need 300. Yeah, that's so weird. Why do you think you need 300 amp hours? That's when people say I need X amount of amp hours. That's like half the story. You need to like really know how much you need in energy, but energy is measured in watts, right? So watt hours. So you really need to figure out how many watt hours you need, and then you can say at 12 volts it's going to be X amount of amp hours. So yeah, that's phrased weird. Figure out how much watt hours you need, like how many watts your devices use, how many, for how long you want to run them. Then we can start working the thing, I think, in a better way. Are there more $1.18650 batteries? Not from that one seller. That guy had like 20,000 cells, and those sold out as soon as they put them on. I think if you add he had like 5,000, and then those sold out like really quickly, and then he put the other 65 boxes, which were the rest of them, and then they sold out in like an hour or two or something. So there might be some if other sellers have them or whatever, but Eric says he has some batteries, and I gotta go down there, and I was gonna go down there yesterday. Something came up today, so I couldn't check out his facilities, but I think he says he has a bunch of them, and if I can work out a deal with them, we can make them available to you. And these are better. They're not the cheap Chinese. See, Chinese cells are weird because there's this distrust with the Chinese manufacturers, right? And so the back ones, those ones that I linked, are the only ones that actually have they can stand behind their product. At the very least, they have like a spec sheet. And when you test them brand new, they kind of meet what the spec sheet says. I think where they fall off is in their lifespan. They don't last very long, right? And so I think they were great for $1. And I think a lot of you agreed, and that's why you guys all just went ahead and bought them. But I think better would be, good quality cells. Good quality cells are brand new, are probably your best thing. But if you can't have them brand new, well, what if you have them like we're doing here? It's like recycling. We're reclaiming them, right? And the problem with that is, of course, that you have to find them, you have to buy them, you have to take them apart, break them apart. Then, you have to strip them and then test them and then mark them and, divide. That's a lot of work. A lot of people don't want to do that. And I think Eric is doing that just at at a massive scale. He has a company that deals with e-waste and stuff. And so, I think he has the batteries, and I think we need the batteries. I think we can make this whole thing happen. And I don't know, we might be able to do them for less than $1, and these are good quality cells that are tested and ready to go. So you'll be able to get them, put them in your thing, put them in your power walls or cars or whatever. I don't know what you would be able to do with them. Whatever you want, I guess. Let's see. Where are we? Any chance you giving away any decent 1860s for free or dirt cheap? I need some good ones since I bought some. Oh man, this thing changed. Oh man, I'm sorry, I lost your thing here, but no, I don't have any. I have a few boxes there that I tested, and I never really finished my project, right? Because I didn't have enough, or I don't know. It's just, I don't know what's going on with me, like with these projects. I'm not finishing them. Where are we? Where do you buy your batteries? I bought all my batteries on eBay, and I have all those links there. But of course, they're getting hard to get because everyone is doing it these days and stuff. So, yeah. But look, there's a ton of people that are buying them by the ton, by the pound, by the box. They're hitting up all their recycling centers. And a lot of people are getting batteries for free, which is crazy. So yeah, you can get batteries. These batteries are everywhere. Wherever there's laptops, and like Peter said, there are laptops everywhere around the world. So you'll be able to get that, right? 2170 battery specs. Well, we don't have those yet. I mean, we have a lot of rumors. They said that it's going to be up to almost 5,000 milliamps. Man, that would be awesome because they're only 30% bigger. Well, 30% bigger. And it's, let's see, it's another 2,500 and 35. Yeah, so that's right on spec, right? So yeah, I think everyone's speculating that they're going to be about 5,000 milliamps because they're 30% bigger, which means they should have 30% more capacity than current technology. And 18650s are around 34 right now, so you take 30% of that, it's about 5,000. Yeah, so they're, 5,000 or more maybe. I have 6 boxes with 200 each available, he says. Oh, of what? 18650s? Share them. There's a lot of people that don't want them or put them to use. Eric, he says, I have 18650 if you want them. LG 18650 for $1 each. Minimum order quantity 5,000 units. There we go. See, Eric has the batteries. We need to offload the batteries off of Eric. How difficult can it be to manufacture and sell your own batteries? If you have enough money, I think, and resources, I don't think it would be that difficult. Batteries are not that. There's nothing magical about them. It's just copper, graphite, aluminum, some cobalt. There's a couple of exotic metals and stuff, and maybe processes or whatever. But nothing's impossible. It's like with enough money and enough drive, you could do it. I think there's a lot of little shops in China that are manufacturing their own batteries, and so a lot of these that are coming out, that's why they kind of suck, because they don't get it right, and they are under pressure to sell you cheap stuff for cheap prices because it's coming out of China. But I think there are probably little shops, maybe boutique shops, that are making really, really good batteries. It's just really, really hard to tell what's what because there's so much trash that it's coming out of China. But China is capable of making good batteries, and they're doing them in either not all of the factories in China are just giant factories. A lot of them are tiny little things. I don't think that's happening here in the States just because the labor is so expensive, and everybody wants to pay the nothing for things here in the States. But A123 was a very good example of that. They were making top-notch batteries. I mean, they were making really good stuff. It's just the business plan just was not sustainable, right? That people just didn't want to pay that much for batteries when you can buy them on China for less or whatever. Let's see. Is 2170 chemistry? As I understand it, is the same chemistry. It's just different form factor. And the chemistry is ever evolving. I know Tesla keeps changing and stuff. Is there any pre-built system to just plug 18650s into? I have some, but I need something to put them into. I'm trying to get to 12 volts with some real amp powers. No, there's not really a thing like that. You kind of have to build your own thing. Oh man, all right. Someone else gave us $20. Christopher Grady, thank you very much. Very, very much appreciated. Don't stop uploading, he says. Now I'm planning on EV Carmen Gia. Oh man, I'm working on that video. It's so crazy. I need to leverage on my strengths, and one of my non-existing strengths, how do I say that? That's the wrong thing to say that, is planning. I don't plan very well. I kind of work on I'm impulsive, and I just, I get an idea to make a video today, and then I go ahead, and for the next, 5 hours, I'm going to be all invested into making this thing, right? If I plan something and I say, oh, but I can't do it today, I'll make it tomorrow or the day after or whatever, I'm not going to make it, because by then I'll have another 10 ideas, and my brain is just going to it's going to move on, and so this is a problem with long format videos. it's that Gia video that I started with Michael or whatever. It's a long video. It's gonna be like an hour long because I have to really explain the whole process and stuff. And it's halfway done. And I just have to sit here and work on something that my brain is no longer like it's already gone. And so I just have to sit and just do it and get through it. And I broke into tiny little pieces now, and I think I can get through it like that. But it would mean not having to do a video today or tomorrow or whatever, whenever I'm gonna work for it, right? And so that's really hard because that's not just one of my strengths to do. And so yeah, I'm working on the Gia video. It's coming out soon. Maybe it's gonna be at the 1 year anniversary of us finishing that project that I'll get it out or whatever. Hi, can we add extra battery for Ford Focus Electric 2012? Yes, you can always add battery to any car. There are some big challenges. Remember, your car is essentially a computer, and sometimes they have really aggressive computers that are designed to check every aspect of your battery. So you might have to trick that computer into either not knowing that your extra battery is there, or somehow figure that battery is okay to be there. And so that is the challenge there. The part about adding the battery, it's not challenging at all. You can stuff any car with as much battery as you can, as long as you figure out like the voltage and the amount of cells or whatever. It's just the software, it's the computer side of it. And if you're good at hacking computers and writing code and stuff, that's going to be the easy part for you, and the mechanical part might be the hard. But for people like me, the mechanical side of it and the electrical side of it is like piece of cake. It's the computer's the thing that kind of stops us. Oh man, Eric, is this Eric? Eric, thank you, $100 donated. Thank you for the cost. To your new camera, email me your number so we can work on a big project. Yeah, let's do it, Eric. We'll definitely hit you up this week. Today's what, Wednesday? Yeah, I want to check out your facilities. Yeah, I got to tell you that scene on that video that you posted where you have that wall and you guys are checking all those batteries, that is like crazy. I was like, you only see that like in factories in China. I was like, oh my god, no way, these guys have a facility where they're checking batteries. I gotta check this out. It's I think I have my viewers here would love to see that in more detail and totally geek out on just what the process is for processing these cells. Because as you know, that we have like a community of like a few thousand people, and I actually want to start a thing because I believe. I mean, look, there's some guy here that's got 9,000 batteries. Just him. I think the average people have like processed like, I don't know, a few thousand cells. So if we add up what our little community has as processed and kept from the recycling thing, I think we're going to be in the hundreds of thousands if we're not nearing like in the million cells that we have put into power walls and stuff. And I think it's really, really great. And I think yeah, we totally geek out on your facilities there. And yeah, let's do something together. Let's see, will you ever do any projects with 2170 batteries? Yes, as soon as I can get my hands on them. As soon as Eric probably can get his hands on some, then I can probably beg him to give me some, and then we can test them. I want to check those out. Those are pretty good, and they're gonna be oh, here's the thing that I want to say. I asked Michael the other day, I go, hey, how come you haven't gotten any 100, batteries from a P100 Model S, right? And I go, is that just like, because it's the top of the line and maybe there's not so many? Why is it that they're not ending up in the auctions? Why isn't that you're not buying? You're buying a bunch of this 85 kilowatt hours and the 70s and the 60s and stuff. And he like turned and then he looked at me and he said, I just don't think they crash anymore. I think they have this, crash avoidance system. And so then I thought like, that might be a problem for us. I mean, if cars become so safe that, that our distracted minds don't crash them every time we get on the road, it might be hard to get batteries. The cars might be on the road till like they're old and the batteries are halfway done, or like just like the doors start falling, like, you know, mechanically they start falling apart. Might be a thing. And, you know, I know there's other ways to get batteries. I know Eric, for example, gets batteries through other ways. He's getting cars that are either testing or, I don't know, you know, it's like pre-production. I don't know how he's getting that stuff, but there are other ways. But that's the thing that I hadn't crossed my mind for a while until he told me that. I'm like, what? You're right. Cars are not gonna crash anymore. I get LG Chem cells, Eric says. I get prismatic cells, Bosch and Samsung. Those are all good batteries there. Let's see here. Where are we? Man, I keep losing my thing. Okay, Jehu, I just received 12 Tesla smart car modules. Will charge with solar array soon, but what kind of battery charger would you recommend? Oh, go look at my Powerwall videos. I have one. Let me see if I can I do the thing here? I could probably where are we here? I have links to the one that Michael is using, which I believe is not the only one. I think there's other ones that work, but at least that's the one that we know that works, because the voltage is a little bit weird with the 15S configuration. Let's see here. So you go to my... Hey, come on. Where is it? Battery type. Okay, DIY Powerwall. And it's the one that has the most views. Where I go down to San Diego and I talk to him. And you just kind of run through the whole thing. Oh, is that the one? No, that's the new one. Where is it at? It's... Hey, where is it at? It's getting crazy in my channel, because we have so many... I have so many videos that I sometimes can't find what I'm looking for. And then the thing is that I don't oh man, this is not it, right? This is a new one or whatever. Let's see if I go, maybe one of you can can link it in there. Yeah, it's the one that has like a bunch, like, I don't know, it's got like 500,000 views, and we did that a few months ago or whatever, and I just sit there and talked with them. Anyways, it's got a link to the one that the Schneider controller that we kind of use or whatever, and that's one of the ones that we found that has worked. How much does your bus add to your power bill when charging from home? My smart EV added $20 a month per bill. Well, I have 48 kilowatt hours, and it just depends how much you use it. But I mean, every charge is like, I pay like 13 cents a kilowatt hour. So it's like $2-3 every time I charge it. And, you know, let's say that I charge it 10 times a month, you know, I don't know, $30-40 or whatever. But I get lots of miles from that, right? It's definitely, you know, it's definitely way cheaper than the gas counterpart, and it's much more fun. Let's see, where are we? Should we say 60? Let's see. Oh man, I'm getting stuck reading a bunch of stuff. Hey, thanks for the videos, Jehu. Great information. They have helped me get better idea of the technical and usefulness of batteries, applications. Keep up the good work. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I try to do what I can. Can I mix 240 cells, 2,900 milliamp hours with 90 cells, 2,300 milliamp hours, and 100 cells, 2,000 milliamp hours to build a 12 power wall, a 12 volt power wall? Yeah, you can mix all that. I put up a video last week that was talking about how to make the modules. And everyone kept sending me links to this battery packer or something. It's in the comments. There's a bunch of links, and there's this online tool that helps you put in your cells, and then it in a spreadsheet kind of gives you like these are your modules, and so that you try to make them all the same capacity or whatever. That's a fancy way to doing it. You could also do what I suggest in my video and just lay them all out and grab them, put them or whatever. People had some ideas that were better than what I did, you know. So that's true. If you follow the you know, just the conversation underneath the video, then you can really follow how is it that you can make your 12-volt battery. You probably want to be 3S or 4S, depending on what your equipment can do. If your equipment can handle 4S, which is about 16 volts fully charged, then you can do that. But if you're making a giant battery, you can also just not choose to charge it all the way up and stay, you know, somewhere around 14 or 15 volts or something like that. That will also work. Let's see here. Where are we? Oh, it's jumping around. There's a lot of statements in here. It's kind of hard. I'm looking to create an 18650 pack for a boat that has to navigate the surf. Okay, your vids show 18650 as resilient. Thinking of using a Pelican type case for pack. Thoughts? Yeah, that would totally work. Yeah, I don't know what kind of energy requirements. I don't know what kind of like boat or, you know, how big the thing is. But yeah, you might have to use several Pelican type. Remember, batteries are heavy. There's a lot of people that recommend, you know, ideas. I mean, they had one guy that like wrote a whole business plan, and he's like, look, this is, you know, this is mind blowing. This is the thing. We're gonna be rich, you know. And he sends you this thing, right? This document that he wrote and very eloquently. And basically, he was like, what we need to do is make a briefcase-sized battery, put it in a car, you know, so that you can take it inside your house, charge it, and then once you're ready to go to work and the next day, you bring it with you, put it in the car, connect it, and then you go. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, we can totally do that. I mean, it won't, you know, and like it's going to be a tiny battery, or it's going to be like a giant case that you won't be able to carry. But you can hit the middle there, right? So, but it is going to have to be small. So then I just gave him the specs of what batteries weigh, you know, per you know. And so he's like, oh my God, no, what if you just plug it into your car cigarette lighter, he said. And I'm like, well, yeah, that would work to charge your 12-volt battery, but you know, electric cars don't run off a 12-volt battery. That's a separate system. And he's like, at the end, he was like, oh my God, all the details totally just threw my idea out the door, you know. And it's you know, the reason why some of these things don't exist is because it's just not practical yet, right? We're not there yet with the batteries. They're still too big, too heavy, and you know, that's the reason why interchangeable batteries in cars are still not a thing. Even though it's possible, Tesla and other car manufacturers, right, have tested it out and have proven that the thing, you can do it. It's just not practical, not yet, right? And so that's why it kind of doesn't exist or whatever. But you can totally do it. Let's see. Okay, so 650 watt hours gives you 15 kilometers. So 2600 watt hours give you 60 kilometers. Huh. Maybe. I think this is a conversation that is starting from earlier, right? It's kind of hard to see the thing. It's so many comments, guys. You guys are keeping me like, I want to electrify a 4x4. Thing is, you don't want speed in a 4x4. You want slow, steady power. Yeah. You know, we did that Jeep, and we put two motors directly into the shaft, so right onto the differential, and because there's two motors, there's tons of torque, and because there's a ton of torque, well, you can extend that torque all the way to like 5,000 RPM. So this car actually does full speed, you know, like up to highway speeds and whatever. But it also has very, very, very like the control at the low end is really, really great, because these motors do great just spinning. They have ton and ton of torque. You almost have all the torque available at 0 RPMs or 100 RPMs. And so you can like have really good control going over, yeah, like a rock crawler and stuff. And I think it's gonna be really fun, because Michael's working on that paint scour, which is that Swiss Army car with the big tires, and it's got like all-wheel drive with lockers and all this other stuff. I think it's gonna be great once he finishes that, and we'll get to see some of that. You know, it's like what this off-road vehicle with 4x4 stuff will do. Definitely electric motors are the way to go with these 4x4 rock crawlers and all these other vehicles. And I am surprised that you don't see that much, right? It's like when you look at those guys, like they're like having to rev their engines like all crazy just to like go up, and because they need a lot of torque, but a lot of engines don't have a lot of torque until you hit like, and so they're burning clutches, they're doing this. And I think yeah, electric rock crawlers would be the thing to do. We wanted to hit that King of the Hammers things event down here, not too, you know, out here in Joshua Tree, and we just didn't happen. We weren't ready and stuff. But yeah, he says 4 kilowatt motor. I suggest you make the 14S 10P of 35 milliamp hour 18650 for your electric bike. And he's talking to Big Ben 30 here. Oh, and that's what he's talking about, 650 watt hours battery on 15 kilometers empty. Okay. Let's see. Please make tests for battery for Ford Focus electric. I need to see tests. Well, that would be great, except that I don't have a Ford Focus. And again, I don't really have the electronic know-how, or just the engineering to do all the hacking stuff. I think someone will do it. It's just the Ford Focus is not. I don't know. I have to look at the numbers, but I don't think it's very popular here in the States, and not with the DIY guys, right? Because I don't know why, to tell you the truth. I don't know why we all not necessarily think that Ford cars are like sexy or cool or whatever. It's almost like the same thing with the Leaf. Like, I know there's a lot of people and a lot of you guys out there that probably like the Leaf, but to me, I look at it and I'm like, that's not a cool car. Even though it's probably done more for electric cars than any other car, right? Because there's more of them out there and stuff. Yeah, it's hard to justify putting a lot of time, money in a project for a car that I don't really feel like, it's cool, or it doesn't speak to me or whatever. And so I think that's the problem with some of those cars. It's hard. With the 100 kilowatt batteries that Eric is offering for a project, how about making an electric long wheelbase Mercedes Sprinter? Yeah, that would be a project. Although for a big car, I don't know if 100 kilowatt hours will really go that far, right? I mean, it would be like, oh, it goes 100 miles or something, It's like, oh, let's do a semi-truck. Oh, 100 kilowatt hours, okay, that'll give you like 80 miles or something like that. It's not impressive, you know what I mean? Because the bigger the car, the bigger the battery has to be. So, but if you can have a battery, like a big battery, and it doesn't weigh as much or whatever, then I think that would be actually pretty cool. I think the batteries that Eric has, again, they're power cells. At least the ones that he was mentioning there. And so I think that would be the cool thing. Like, let's power something huge. Yeah, it's only going to do it for whatever, half an hour, 20 minutes or whatever. But the fact that a tiny battery the size of whatever, it's like, is going to power this giant factory, or I don't know, something. Or pick up a car, like I said. Maybe like a thing that, it lifts like, 4,000 pounds off the floor, or something like that. I think would be something for publicity. I think that would get people exposed to the idea that like, oh, these guys are doing stuff with batteries. I think that would be really awesome. I mean, that would be, if we have that much battery and we have something to do with it, it should be something loud that I think gets people, it gets us noticed, right? Let's see. Now on the sim eyes, I have the onboard charger. Now I can put, then, oh man, that's hard to read this guy. Sorry, I can't read your thing. Okay, let's see. All right. Hi, Jehu. What do you think about Goodnuff's new solid-state sodium glass battery they are developing? 3 times the energy in the same space, and apparently don't break down. I'm hoping that those are real. And I guess, like, yeah, I talked a little bit about at the beginning of this stream that, yeah, everyone's scratching their heads, like trying to figure out how how that works, because it seems to defy the laws of physics. But no one really wants to call it, like a hoax or anything, because it's good enough, right? So it's a legitimate source. They're legitimate scientists. So I'm hoping that they're dead on. That maybe we just don't know why this works this way, but we will find out, because now we know that it does work. It would be great. I mean, imagine having those batteries. They're like almost too good to be true. And if they are, well, our future might look a little bit different. Off the wall question: did you design your camera gear in CAD or something similar? Yeah, it's a computer-aided design. I use a custom program to do it, but that's what I use. I have a 1967 8100 5-window pickup that would love to electrify. Do it. Older cars are the best candidates to do to electrify it, because they're the cars that need it the most. They're the cars that benefit the most, and their performance increases, right? And so I think that older cars retain their value more too. And I think just in general, society is starting to appreciate old cars more. I think in years past, I think old cars were just that, old cars, cars that had been cool at one point. Now they're no longer, because they're old and rusty, and the paint is drying, the paint is falling off or whatever. But I think in the last few decades, I think there's an appreciation for, like, survivors, and that's a cool thing. I know, I could, like my bus right now, right? If I were to fix it and put it all shiny, I'm sure I could probably get maybe $100,000 for them to ride buyer, right? But if my bus was a survivor that hadn't had any repairs and had the original paint, and it was like all like scratched off, and it was like faded and like sun burned into it or whatever, and I could probably get 150, 200 for that, just because of the rarity. If a car has survived without a lot of damage or a lot of like intervention to do stuff to cut thing or repaint or redo the thing, they just hold the value. So I think what's growing is the appreciation for old cars. If you have an old classic car and you want to do something with it, if you want an electrified car and you have an old car and you kind of like old cars, I say go for that. I would pick an old car way more than a new car, even though the new cars are safer and stuff. I think it's a better investment. I think you're doing something good. I mean, you're doing something good for the planet no matter what, right? Because you're keeping something from dying, from being sent to the chopper, from being sent to the crusher or whatever. But I think there's nothing like keeping an old car around. Let's see here. Let's see. Are your electric Samba? Wait, what does it say? Oh, Casper, is your electric Samba? Does it do recuperation of energy, or like we know that as regen when you drive without passing? Yeah, my bus has regen. Actually, I haven't set it like really. It's set really aggressive. I've seen it almost at 300 amps when I'm like slam on the brakes, you know, and I'm doing like 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, whatever. Yeah, it actually, it's about 50% of my braking in the bus, because my bus is all original. And in fact, it's not only original brakes, drum brakes, but on the sides it's got undersized brakes, because now I have changed the transaxle to a Beetle transaxle. So it's a bigger car, and so those brakes are even undersized for what they were designed to do. So yeah, I need all the help that I can get, and I should have like disc brakes all around that car, but I just haven't done it. Yeah, so 50% of my braking is through the motor, and it's shoving all that energy back into the batteries. That is actually now common in all the AC systems, which is really what anyone should be doing. I wouldn't recommend DC systems for daily driver cars that you're gonna actually want to drive, on a daily basis. If you're doing some drag race car or some specialty vehicle, yeah, DC might work for you, but for like a daily driver, AC is the way to go. All right, Argentina, Buenos Aires. Please see the Private Pampa Solar. Oh, I don't know what that is. Let's see here. I have an off-grid 48 volt 800 amp hour to power my house, and the overflow go to the grid. 48 800 amp hours. Wow, that's a lot. It's a big setup. What's your kilowatt hour rating on that? I can't do math. 48 times 800. What is that? Look at Mike Zimmerman's battery. He's already designed and produced a battery that can be punctured and cut without exploding. All right, we need to have that. What is the best lithium batteries? 18650 for vape. I don't know. I mean, so I don't know. I know that you guys are you need a lot of performance off of cell. I mean, you guys are nearing like the dangerous zones of performance, right? And so yeah, I think the best batteries are like brand new ones, and you use them for a little bit, and then you have to discard them, because if you don't, then you'll have a fire, and you don't want to have that fire in your face or in your pocket or whatever. So yeah, I just be careful. I think like having more batteries, like building your things to have more batteries in parallel, like doubles your not only your performance, right? Because that's, you guys need amperage, you guys need power output of these batteries, but it also increases your safety. It lowers the chance of those batteries just going nuts and on you and blowing up on your face, basically. And so yeah, that might be what you want to do. Sony or Samsung, which do about 25 amps. Yeah, those are the ones that you need, because you're asking a lot of amperage off of those. So let's see. Does EV offer internships for EE students? Yeah, they do. They have interns over there all the time. Every time I go down there, there's a new person, there's a new intern, and yeah, you should hit him up. I know that he gets a lot of requests for internships. I know that he has to turn down a lot of them, because just there's so much of it. But yeah, I mean, if you really want to, you just don't give up. Just try and try, right? Let's see here. I have 2.2 million 2200 milliamp hour LG and Samsung 18650 cells in stock. My company sources batteries for large companies, and I want to get into supplying DIYers. Let's work out an advertising deal. Tom, let's do it. I wonder if you're I think maybe I actually sent you an email. It sounds familiar. The story sounds familiar. With someone that had like millions of cells, and they wanted to figure out a way to sell them, but I never heard back. So if that's you, yeah, email me, jhoodjack35. We'll definitely figure out how to get all these batteries into all these guys. I mean, we have several thousand people that are building their DIY, and they're doing it the hard way. I mean, we're taking batteries and breaking them and stuff, and it's like it's not for the faint of heart. But I think if we had a source of batteries that we could just take and then start building our things, without having to spend months like testing them and breaking them apart, much more people would get into it. And I think, we could probably go through through a couple million cells in no problem in no time, right? So contact me, please. For an old car, what would be better, going with the wheel motors? For an old car, would be better going with wheel motors or one main motor? That's similar. I am actually working on a video right now that is talking about transmission or no transmission, right? People ask me that all the time. And I guess, this question comes up too. Wheel motors or like hub motors or like regular motors, right? And my answer to that would be, I haven't seen a single car that full-size car that works well with hub motors. And so that raises the question, is like, why is that, right? Why aren't a bunch of people doing that? So either the motors are just not available to us, they're not available in the right size, the right performance, or they just don't work. And so there's got to be something to it. And I don't really know exactly why, but I know that there just isn't. Like, if you guys have seen projects that do it, that have successfully been able to do it, and they have and specify what the parts is, and we can get the parts, send me a link, because I would love to see that. And that's a thing that, I mean, on paper it kind of makes sense. You're like, why do you need all these other crap, right? Just put the motor right there. It should work. It should work. But there's a reason why, and I don't know exactly the reason is. But I would like to find out. Jehu, I want to donate a car to you and EV West. It's extremely rare. First mass-produced electric car. Wait, first mass-produced? Well, email me. The real traumatized. Email me, Jehu@Jack35. If it's the car that I am thinking, yes, we totally would take it in a heartbeat. I want to see this car, and I want to take it apart and see how they made it, and because it's part of history. I mean, it's the thing that started. It's a thing that it's part of the icon history, right? From this group of people that we feel that there needs to be more electric cars. So definitely interested in that. So you have electric brakes? Yeah, and essentially, yes, I have electric brakes. Half of my brakings is electricity, in essence. So Whiteheart says, I need all the help. I just got here. Have you talked about the Mercedes Powerwall? I think what it is called. I haven't seen that. I know there are other manufacturers that are coming up with Powerwall type, home batteries things, and I haven't really looked into them too much. But I know Samsung is one of them, I think. Or is it LG? I think, there's a few of them out there. It'd be interesting. If you guys have links to like videos or interesting articles about that, do send them to me. I'll look into them and stuff and see what's going on there. 1981 postal commuter van. Ooh, I don't know what that is. Sounds cool. Okay, so need a supplier of 18650s in New Zealand. Any suggestions? I don't, but maybe someone watching here can give you. If you guys have any suppliers available in New Zealand, go ahead and post it down in the comments here. I have a 63 Bug that I want to convert, but still too pricey. Based on components and battery prices coming down every year, how much do you think a total conversion would cost in, say, 5 years? Oh, 5 years is a long time. It's hard to say what they're going to be there. But look, current prices, If I was you, and I was buying, and I had a 63, and I wanted to convert it, I'd get the easiest motor. It would be a an AC50, like what I have on my bus. That's still the easiest thing. You can buy it. You can call Michael right now, order it. You can have it in a couple of days. There's no like figuring out, like it comes with a harness and you can just connect it, put the buttons, done. Like there's no like hacking. There's no like computers to plug in and to check and reset. It's like install it, plug it in, it works. It's like, I don't know, that's like under $4,000 for that, right? Then the best battery would be like 5 Tesla Model S modules. And they're selling for about $1,200 on eBay right now. So I bet you can, if you contact any of these sellers, you could probably get them for about $1,000. So that's like $5,000 of batteries, and that's good for, right? So what's 5 times 5? That's 25 kilowatt hours. So this maybe like 90, 80 to 100 miles of range on a Bug. And the installation would be super simple. It's 5 modules to plug in, essentially 5 batteries. Put them in, and so you're like around $10,000 to do that. That's where the prices are right now. This is using some of the best batteries too. By the way, you could probably get, like, if you want to do more work, you could probably get, if I didn't have the $10,000 to do it, right? Let's say I only had, whatever, I was in a tighter budget. Maybe I would look into getting like Chevy Bolt batteries, right? Those, I've seen some for like $1,500, I think. I've seen some for under $2,000 for 16 kilowatt hour packs. So then you get 2 of those, you're like around $3,000, $3,500, and you're like at 30 kilowatt hours. So you have more. Now you have your 100 kilowatts, 100 miles of range. It just would require a little bit more engineering because those batteries are like slightly different shape. You might have to make boxes for them. Maybe you break them apart, put them in your own body, reconnect them. I don't know. I haven't really looked too much into it. But if those are awesome batteries. I mean, they are. You can have a smaller Chevy Bolt battery than you can have a Model S battery. It's just the voltage kind of works out with 5 modules for like 25 kilowatt hours. But with the Chevy Bolts, you could probably have like a 3 kilowatt hour pack that would push your motor like full power. And then in fact, the ones that Eric here has, those are the same thing. Those are like power cells, right? So you can have 2 tiny little 5 kilowatts worth of battery, and you can push that full power. It's essentially what we did with the Baja. If you haven't seen the Baja video, that's what we did. We put a tiny little battery, and we beat another conversion that was like crazy expensive. I mean, the latest battery and the latest motor and high performance, everything and stuff. And Michael just kind of, he just beat him with that. So yeah, that's what I would do if I was you, and I wanted to make a 63 Bug. 5 years from now, who knows? I mean, it's too far in the future. Why is AC the way to go? Because it can be cool better, and so there's no wear because there's no brushes, and it's just much more reliable, and it's more efficient because you can recoup, right? You can actually use regen on it. So for those reasons, AC is better for a daily driver, a car that you can just get on and drive. For high performance things with not a lot of money, yeah, DC is the good thing. Or like low moving stuff, like low voltage applications, like golf carts and forklifts and all that stuff, where you need a lot of like torque but not a lot of like horsepower, so like low voltage stuff, then the brushes seem to do better with that. And when you're using the motor like at slower RPMs or whatever, you don't waste the brushes or whatever. It's just the DC things didn't pan out too good for the cars. For full size cars, you just way too much maintenance. You have to keep changing those, and have to break the brushes in. It's just a big pain. Let's see here. What else do we got? Oh man, you guys have a lot of questions here. Ooh. I have 3 strings with 30 times 255 WP. What's WP? And 1 string with 4 kilowatt P? Oh my god, what are you talking about, Big Ben? I'm not really understanding what you're talking about. Adrian Powerwall, I watch every documentary I can find about batteries. I was surprised to learn about dendrites. I see you have the same type of batteries I have. I just don't want to burn my house down. Yeah, dendrites are, I guess, real in the lab, right? And sometimes in real life too. There's an inherent risk to batteries. And sometimes, yeah, some batteries are going to catch fire. But it's just the same as some cars are going to slam your face into a wall sometimes. And you just have to kind of put it in the balance, like how much of the risk are you willing to trade in for the benefits of using a technology. And I see a lot of people, they over exaggerate the dangers of having batteries while minimizing other dangers like driving cars. That's about one of the most dangerous things that you will engage on, is driving a car, right? And people seem to we have as a society, we have completely understood. Well, we don't understand. We just have accepted the risk that, okay, driving a car is dangerous, but I think the danger is low enough that it keeps us from thinking that we are going to be the ones that are going to get in a car and just drive forever and not get in an accident. Well, yeah, my next door neighbor got in an accident, but he was okay. He was just injured. But he's the exception. When the reality is that the odds are really high that we are. I think 1 of every 4 people are going to be in an accident, involved in a serious accident, I think. That's what I've seen, some estimates or whatever. Yeah, so the batteries are dangerous. Some of them are going to burn. Some of our houses are going to burn. And, you can, like a car, you get one with extra safety features and airbags. Same thing with batteries. You can get these BMSs, things that kind of work. I think as in the past, I have been against BMSs just because the quality hasn't been there, and because it's a niche market. Nobody needs them, right? Especially not at the DIY level. So car manufacturers are designing custom hardware to use their batteries and stuff, but it hasn't been available to us unless you you're a hacker and you know how to get around computers and repurposing when it comes to software and stuff. Oh my god. And so that's the problem with the BMS that I've seen. But as a tool, hey, stop barking. Doing what it's designed to do, I think, BMSs are great. And those are some ways that we can minimize the chances of our batteries. By the way, I think Michael at EV West is messing around with developing their own BMS, something that we can control the quality and all this stuff. And so I think pretty soon, might be, within weeks or a month or so or whatever, I think it's going to be ready. In fact, we were going to use that on the Samba with that new battery that we were going to use from LG. I was going to put one in there just because it's just so much harder to say, yes, there's a safety computer system that is looking after your batteries, better than saying no, you don't need that because your batteries, because of the real, it's just an uphill battle trying to convince people that no safety system is safer than a flawed safety system, right? So you get tired of just fighting an uphill battle. So I think at this point we're just and not only that, but because the systems might get better if we have more control. Now there's more need for it, so there's more research and more there's more effort to get a quality system. And it's like Peter's is checking that Batrium one. I don't know. I think it looks like it's cool. I mean, he's having good results for it with it, and so he's doing the Lord's work, man. Peter, it's not only proving to the world that our crazy idea that we can just take dead cells, trash cells, and put them in our house, and they can like power our house, right? Not only that, but like in multiple levels. Like Peter doesn't necessarily know a lot of what he's doing. It's like I see sometimes that he's doing things, and I'm like, why are you doing that, Peter? Like I think to myself, but I'm like, you know what? He's doing the Lord's work. He's showing that you don't even have to be an expert. That it just takes a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of like, common sense, and you can go so far. You can use these batteries in a safe, safe enough manner, right? And so that's pretty cool. All right, let's see here. I think HEV motors suck because you have such a high unsprung mass. Becomes problem with higher speed. That's what the motorbike guys say. Yeah, probably. I think they're really noisy too, and I think they have trouble like the really low RPMs, right? So they would, like, electrical motors would run great if they're like if they're geared down, right? Something like, oh my god, let me check this. Stop it, boys. Stop it. There's no one there. Sorry, my dogs are just barking at the neighbors. There's nothing. Hey, quiet. Quiet. Look, there's a bunch of guys watching you. Oh, they're not watching you, but you're embarrassing me. Well, anyways, the HEV motors will have to rear wheel drive only. I can't picture HEV motors. Hey, oh my god, hold on, I gotta fix this. Come here. I'll give you a treat. So you stop. All right. That's what they get. They're not listening to me, they go in the backyard. Okay. Making small battery packs. What time are we? 6:33? Oh my god, they're still making noise. Now they want to get in. Making a small battery pack to power an old 12. Oh man. DC motor, does it make that voltage? My battery pack is to power the motor continuously. Sorry if you already answered. Wait, what? Making a small battery pack to power an old 120 volt DC motor. Does it matter what voltage my battery pack is to power the motor continuously? Well, yeah, I mean, so the batteries are going to be in a range, right? Fully charged are like at this voltage, and then nominal voltage is like where they spend most of their time, but then yeah, so there's a range of voltage. I think it will have an effect in the motor performance, but it shouldn't be too much. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that question correctly. I know, yeah, it's gonna have somewhat of performance effect. I just don't know how much. I think it depends on your motor. I think it depends on your system. It depends on your batteries. I know lithium coal oxide has wider variance of voltage, right, from fully charged to fully depleted. The more cells you have in series, right? So the higher your voltage is, the higher variation of voltage, right? So like if you have a 400 volt system, battery pack, for example, like fully charged, the difference between fully charged and then fully depleted battery is going to be huge, like 60, 70 volts or something, if I'm correct, something like that. It's going to be less so with like a 400 battery pack made out of lithium iron phosphate, for example. So that variance is going to be less because well, there's just less range. I think 3.45 volts is fully charged, and I think like 3.2, 3.3, or 3.2 volts it's fully depleted. So I mean, there's only like less than half volt range from fully charged to fully depleted, when lithium coal oxide is more, right? It's like 3 volts to 4.2, so that's almost a volt, over a volt of difference per cell or whatever. So yeah, it just depends on what your setup is, and yeah, it's kind of hard to answer for what your specific application is. Do you think an electric RV will be a thing? Can you get a fair amount of solar panels on them? I'd like to one day travel and be able to refill and charge at campgrounds. RV parks would be great. Yeah, I think I see no problem with today's technology and making an RV park, because you drive and then you park, and then you park at a place that has a big plug, right? The biggest plugs in the land are NEMA 1450s, and almost every single RV park in the States has a NEMA 1450, 11 kilowatt per hour. So you don't even need solar panels for that, right? But if let's say that you just wanted to go into these obscure things, yeah, you can fill like an RV with like a bunch of solar panels, and if you're gonna be there for a few days, a week or whatever, yeah, that's enough time for 5-6 hours a day to be charging the batteries, and then by the time you're ready to move on, boom, you have a full pack. Totally doable with today's technology. You just need kind of a big pack, because those cars are big, heavy, square things. So you need a huge battery pack. So the 100 kilowatt hour pack that Eric is offering, that would work on an RV. Let's see. What's up, man? Got 25 miles on my e-bike, doing 50 miles per hour from time to time, but averaging 35 miles per hour. The battery, 84 volts, 19 amp hours, 1600 watts. Was from used laptop cells and is working great. BMS cut it off at 72 volts. All right, see, there's another story where recycled cells are working perfect, are working good, right? I'm new to this 18650 thing, and my girlfriend thinks I'm going to blow the house up. I'm still learning. Love watching your videos. Yes, yeah. A lot of people think we're crazy for doing this, but I'd say we're just average crazy. So keep going. Have you seen the 130 volt 3 horsepower DC thread mill motors surplus centers is selling for $30? Know anyone that has used them? So they're 130 volts. They're 3 horsepower DC thread mill. For $30, I guess that's a good price. It'd be great for like a little motorcycle, like a little go-kart or something, right? 3 horsepower. Let's see here. Have motors for car actually is the next level of future car. Well, let's hope so. I don't see why no one's making them though. Like, see that there should be a bunch of them. Like when the electric car started, right? I mean, the electric car's always been there, right? 1800s. In fact, some of the first cars were electric. But then they kind of died, and the problem was the batteries. But then when, like back in the 80s, there was a resurgence of electric cars, right? And people started making these cars that were like crazy performance. There was a little white Datsun that some guy in Texas made, and it was all made with like lead acid batteries, and he was like just beating cars at the drag race. So very early on, cars that were proving the concept to be true came on. I don't see the same with these HUV motors. It's like I've seen some builds, but they don't seem to be that great. Like they don't seem to be doing it better than what these motors are doing, and they don't seem to be catching on. And so there must be a reason for it. And I don't know what it is, but yeah, I mean maybe it is. It's It just doesn't seem to be. At a first glance, you know. Tom Arman says, I'm the guy with millions of sales. Please spell out your email. Mine is Tom and Arman at yahoo.com. I'll message you now. I have warehouses, 2 in New Jersey and 1 in PA. Oh yeah, I'll send you an email right now. Let's see here. That's your email. Let me just do the thing here. Open up my email program. New email. So let's see here. Oh, I should probably do a search. Jehu, battery guy, on YouTube. Is that what you guys know me for? The battery guy? I was fighting it for so long. I didn't want to be typecasted as the battery guy, but I realized that I just need to embrace it. I don't need to. All right, sent. Yeah, let's see here. Tom. No, I don't have your email in my computer, so maybe it wasn't you, the one that I sent an email before about this, but it was very similar to you. Anyways, Tom, I just sent you an email. Yeah, let's figure this out. You might as well plug it into shore power when you get there to charge. You need a lot of panel to fill up the amount of pack you need to move an RV. Yeah, I mean 100 kilowatt. So let's say you put 100 kilowatt hours, right? Let's see. And let's say that you wanted to charge the battery in, let's see here, in 1 week. Let's say that in average you wanted to stay 1 week at a campground, right? So what is that? 5 days? What's a week? 5 days or 7 days? Let's say 7 days, right? The average sunlight in the States, I think it's like 5.5 hours of sunlight. You know, of course, summer is like long. Like here in California, we have like 9 hours of sunlight or whatever. But I think it's an average, right? It's like 5.5. So what is it? 7 times 5. Oh man, come on! I'm so bad at math. 5.5, right? So that's 38 hours per week, right? Per 7 days. And so 38 and a half, so 100 kilowatt hours divided by 38.5. That would be 2.59, so 2.6. So that means that each hour of sunlight, you'd have to be averaging 2.6 kilowatt hours into your pack. So you need about 3 kilowatt hours worth of panels on your roof. If you can fit those into a normal the roof of your RV, then you can do it. And it might be tough, but again, you do have the 14 NEMA plug right next to it, right? So why not use that too? And if you have to pay for a space in an RV thing that comes with 11 kilowatts per hour worth of juice, why wouldn't you use that, right? Totally would use it. So yeah, I think couldn't be like just full solar panels. You might have to like use both systems, you know. Do you have Lowe's in New Zealand? With the sketchy sellers on eBay, I went to Lowe's and spent $50 for what will be 6S 5P 24 volt 7 amp scooter battery. Oh yeah, Lowe's. I wanted to test Walmart. Walmart is selling 18650s, and it seems like to be like these Chinese ones. So I wanted to see which ones they were, because I was like, oh, now if you have Walmart, which I guess everyone has Walmart, right? Does everyone in the world have Walmart, or is that just a thing here in the States and in some of the developed countries. Yeah, you might be able to buy 1860s at Walmart. I just don't know how good they are. I need to check them out. Hey Jehu, do you think I should use an AC50 on a 1970 to 92 Jeep Wrangler? I think it's called a Jeep Wrangler. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's as long as it's between, I think as long as it's under like 3,500 pounds or something. You can look at HPVS website. It tells you there like a range of weight or whatever, but it's like 90 horsepower. Especially if you're gonna leave like your transmission on it, that motor it's good enough. You know what I mean? Like it gives you good performance if you're gonna shift. If you're not gonna shift, yeah, the performance, at least with my 3,000 pound car on third gear, it's okay. It's not. I mean, it's not like a race car. It can keep up with traffic, and it can get up to speed, no problem. So let's see. All volts are 16 kilowatt hour packs. Actually, I think they're more. I think they're 20, but they only let you use 16. I could be wrong in that, but I think it's more than that. But even if they are that, you could probably get about 30 kilowatt hours for about $3,000, or $33,000 to $4,000, something like that. Future's bright. Samsung S8 has batteries that are rated for 95% capacity after 1,000 cycles. Batteries are getting better and cheaper. Yep. And here's the thing that I noticed with the cell phone batteries is that they're kind of also they're kind of abused too, right? So I have the battery from LG. It's about 3,400 milliamp hours, 35, something like that. But how they get that, the way they get that, it's like 12 and a half watt hours for a tiny little battery that weighs 1.6 ounces. Which is right on par with what Panasonic is doing with the Tesla cells, right? But the way they do that is they go all the way to 4.35 volts. And then I think down to like 3 volts or whatever. So they're really extending that range, right? They're really squeezing all the voltage they can into that battery, and then they like squeezing all of it out. And so I think that's why they don't last that long. So if they just like cut that down a little bit, I think you would get a longer use. But then what they would cut would be the amount of hours that you would be able to use your device with. And so I think that's more important to the end user. It's like, how many hours can I keep playing, or on Facebook, you know what I mean? Oh man, I lost my place here. I don't think of you as battery guy, the cool bus guy. I learned to drive partly on a 69 BW window ban, my mom's rig, according to my dad. Anyway, all right. I reclaimed 18650 batteries that show about 4 volts or some 4 at 4.2. Do you charge these at 3.7 volts or 4.2 volts? Well, it depends what you're using them for, but I charge them on my bus at 4.2. So I'm actually not using my cells to make them last forever. All right, so I'm actually trying to squeeze the most juice that I can in them. Just because I think they're not gonna be. They last long enough. I think that we don't have to worry about making them last the most amount that you want. Especially me, I'll be in a different battery thing, next week. You know what I mean? Like, I'll install these now, and then it'll take me longer to install them properly in my car than it takes for me to I got this other type. Let's get those out and put these ones in there, right? So I don't worry too much about that. But if you're gonna do a thing and you don't want to worry about batteries for a decade, just don't charge them all the way to 4.2. Let's say a 40-foot RV, you would have the room for maybe 1.5 kilowatt of panels if you were creative with mounting. So 1.5, it's still about half of what you would need. It would take you about 2 weeks with that to charge your 100 kilowatt battery pack, right? But here's the thing though, like, there are panels that like kind of fold, and like if you have, yeah, you'd have to get creative. I think that's what you're saying. Oh, let me let my dogs in. Let me get the sticker. Or not. All right, a big. Oh my God! Hey, I'm gonna kick you guys out if you don't stop barking. Oh Jesus. Okay. Here's a bit of a trivia for you guys. If there, Wayne, if there are some old timers here, and by old timers I mean like a couple years ago, I have a question for you. Who am I? Hold on. What did he say? Let's see. Better. What did he say? Better to be lucky than to be right. I forget. I forget any of these things. I haven't seen them in a long time. If you know who I'm impersonating right here, put it in the comments. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Ben Jamming. Ben Jamming? The boar? Said you miss my question, still think you're awesome. Oh yeah, post it again, Ben. I'll get to it. I'm just jumping as fast as I can. And so it's 6:52. I think I'm gonna call this done at 7. So we have 8 minutes left, right? Just use a generator on the RV to charge while you're driving. A generator, a gas generator. Yeah, you can totally use that. Here, okay. Where am I? The real Slim Shady. No, not quite. I guess no one here is watching. Yeah, okay. I became your patron because you are being my guru in assembling a battery pack for an electric scooter. It's 36 volt and 24 amp hour. Which charger should I use for keep the bottom balance? Well, the bottom balance really doesn't care about what charger you use. I think the only thing that you have to get, I would suggest getting a charger that you can set the max voltage, so you can adjust it, right? Because when I have to make a video, I have to hook up with someone that knows how to do like not drawings, but what is that, like so the way I need to show like what balancing is it's like in a graphical way. I want to show you like, here's the battery, here's what the capacity is, this is what happens when you put them to the bottom, right? When you put all the capacities on the bottom and you balance them at the bottom, when you start charging them, then the smallest cell will hit the top voltage first, right? And so all the other ones are going to try and keep wanting to go up, right? And so what you have to do is you have to stop there. When the smallest cell hits 4.2 volts, or whatever voltage you want to charge, right? But maximum 4.2, then you have to measure the pack voltage, whatever it's at. Some cells, like the biggest cells, might be at 4 volts. If you have really big cells, and so they might even be lower, like at 3.9, 3.8 volts or whatever. But whatever voltage they are, when the smallest one hits 4.2, then you have to measure the total pack voltage. And ideally, that's where your charger needs to stop. Right? Because you don't want to go higher. Because in that one little cell, the smallest one is going to go higher. Or you have to change that cell and match it better. So that's why when you're making your own modules, you have to match them. The best way is to match them. If they're all exactly 10 amp hours, then they're all going to hit the top at the same time. They're all going to hit the bottom at the same time. And so if they all have the same characteristics, if they all can push the same power around the same rate, right? So they have the same internal resistance. They average out the same internal resistors per group, per cell, per pack, per module. Then once you set them, they're going to go up, they're going to go down. They're going to go up, they're going to go down. And as long as you stay within your parameters, they won't be going, they won't be getting out of balance and stuff, right? So the best charger is a charger that you can set your voltage to. So I it says I'm live. Am I live? Am I live? Let's see. Where am I? Eddie counts. Modern beams. Yeah, so my battery's died, guys. So check it out. Let's see if I can show you guys what I got going on here. So, this is my encoder, right? So my camera is connected here, and then from here wirelessly goes to my thing here that goes to the internet. So it has an internal battery, but I thought, well, it's not gonna last. I'm gonna be like an hour there. Battery. See, I've been in the battery for a long time. I think I made this battery like 5 years ago. This is a Jag 35 battery. This was made for like rigs, for DSLR rigs, right? And it has it's inside of a box that is made out of aluminum, and it has quarter 20 holes, so you can mount stuff like arms, batteries, or whatever. It's just a simple, but it is lithium battery, and I use basically lipo cells in here. And each individual cell has like one of those little single BMS things, and I used to buy them from China. I used to pay like $50 for cells, which was really a lot of money. And I used to sell this battery for like $400 or something, right? Because it's made for a very specific purpose or whatever. It has, I mean, this plug right here, it's a Limo plug. Very specialized, I think that plug right there on its own is like $50. So anyways, I plugged this battery here. See how it's on the red? Trying to power this thing, but I think we just went through it. It wasn't charged. This has been sitting in my shelf for like, I don't know, the last 3 years. I haven't charged it. I just picked it up and it had a couple lights, and I thought, oh, I'll just use this one to make sure that my little thing doesn't, you know, run out of battery. But it did. So, because I've been on since 5:30. What time did I go on? It's been a while, and I hadn't been doing this for a long time, and I wanted to do it, and I knew I wasn't gonna have the time to finish a video today. I'm working on one, but I have stuff to do. I'm actually making those bendy pods. I have a bunch of them that I'm gonna finish today, send them out. If you are among those people that order one, it's coming. Sorry it's taking so long, but I am working on them and I'm shipping them out, you know, every once in a while. I mean, you know, like every day I'm working on some and getting them out as soon as I can, as fast as I can, or whatever. ICR batteries in your Samba, those are considered the most dangerous, aren't they? You know, the truth is that we don't know what is in my Samba, because they're Tesla batteries, and there's no spec sheets on them, and so we don't know what Tesla's really not, they're not sharing all the details about their batteries, and especially these ones are old, right, from 2008, 2009. I think they were manufactured early 2010. They were put in a car mid 2010. So at this point, they're exactly 7 years old. I made a video about that yesterday or 2 days ago or whatever, so you can see there what it is. So that's what's happening here. All right. Lots of spinning timers. Oh, really? You're back. Refresh Chrome. Work is playing. Buffer video. Oh, I see. Yeah, so it might have been as well. So there's 121 of you guys watching now. It was down to 60 at one point. So I guess yeah, I did kind of come back. Most of you guys can see me now. Let's see. I think I'm gonna. How did EV West get their hands on the Tesla battery packs? Contracts. Daimler had to get rid of those cars because legally they weren't production vehicles, right? They were just kind of a test unit, and so then they got the contract to dismantle them and to send them to the crusher. But I think had it been anyone else, they would have totally just crushed everything. But because we seem, because it was us, and Michael kind of knows that these things would have value, and so he didn't. He actually fought really hard to get the rights to be able to sell the components, and so yeah, that's why he's got a warehouse full of stuff, batteries, motors, and I think he's working really hard into getting. I think the most exciting part is going to be the motor, because the motor is going to be like 150, 200 kilowatt kilowatt motor, which is like 180, 200 horsepower motor, and he's got like 500 of them, and it's kind of small, and so it's going to be kind of cheap. I think I don't think he's going to sell them for too much money, because they haven't really costed them too much. Right now they're not worth much because no one can use them, but as soon as he can figure, then they'll have some value, and we'll be able to put them in some. So essentially, it's like it's about the size of the AC50, but it's about twice the power. We got right, because the only difference is that with our AC50s, we're limited by the controller, and it's low voltage, right? It's like 96 volts, and then there's like 144 volt one, and so this one is in the 300, almost 400 volts. So that's why they can get so much more power out of them. And so as soon as I think he can do that, I think it's gonna be 200 horsepower, 150, 200 horsepower motors for all of us. And so those people that are on the fence don't have enough money, that think maybe even $10,000 for a full system to convert a car is too much, then all of a sudden we might have a system that might be under $10,000 for everything that you can buy and put into your car. And so that's really exciting, and there's gonna be plenty of them, because he's got 500 of these systems. So let's see here. Inverter again. Please answer. Wait. Abu Amah. He says, are you going to do APC to inverter again? Please answer. I want to. It's just the ones that I bought didn't work, right? And so I have them there. I haven't done nothing with those, and I haven't really looked into it. It's crazy, because I just have an abundance of projects. I just don't have the time to do them, and yeah, I have to prioritize into the projects that are easiest for me, because of the lack of time. And the reason I don't have time is because I have to still spend some time making a living. I would love to get up in the morning and just be like, okay, today I'm just gonna make videos. What can we mess with it? But I'm not there yet, right? And I'm trying to do do it, and I'm actually working towards that. And I think I'm going all in. I think in a starting, what is this? Yeah, starting like this week, I think I'm gonna actually start liquidating some of my assets from my company. And for legal reasons, that's why I might not be able to keep my Samba. I might have to actually liquidate that also, but it is all for the purpose of actually doing this full time. So to restructure all my life and my businesses and stuff so that I can do this, so that I can, make videos about projects and cool stuff that I want to do, right? And so when that happens, I guess I will let you guys know. I'll let you guys know when I have a couple of vehicles that I have to sell, and including the Samba and stuff. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do that. And I think when that happens, the APC to inverter project will be one of the ones that I want to do. Finishing my Powerwall was going to be, one of the big projects. I have a skateboard project that I'm working on that I just don't have the time to go and mess around with it, right? I kind of and I also need some money to buy proper equipment. Like the thing I wanted to do a video this week, right? But as it turns out, that controller that I use, I bought a cheap one. It just sucks. In Vegas, it just wouldn't work. And I think it's just because it's prone to interference and stuff. And so it's like I need a secondary controller because we burned one, and so this is the second time that we burned those controllers. So I'm like, I need to buy them from someone else because whoever's making these, they just don't seem to work. I can break them, broke them twice just trying to build them, the skateboard. So it's I think it's gonna be part of the of that project and the review and the whole thing about which components you should use and stuff. Put 2700A battery into Google, enter, and click on shopping. Oh, really? Put 2700A battery into Google. Let's do that. Let's see what these guys say. Google, right? Come on, Google. Oh, Google with double O's, not with triple O's. Okay, so then 2170 shopping. Oh, Sony NCR 2700 4000 milliamp 36 unprotected from battery junction. Wow. Oh, so I see. So this is a bigger battery. This is not an 18650. This is a 20 inches in diameter, right? 18 in diameter, the length, right? So it's 70, so it's bigger, yeah. So this is not a 2170, this is a 2070. 15 amps, it's about 949 on this one, battery junction. Let's see, let's shop. I guess I've never really looked into these weird sizes. There are some other ones that are weird sizes. I have an 18 volt DC motor. How much amps or amp hours do I need for a DIY longboard? Thanks. I don't know. That's there's more specs. It's like it's not what the motor can do. It's how much is gonna cost, right? How much energy you're gonna burn. So I still don't know, but I think it's I know the boosted board it's using about 10 watt hours, I think, per mile. Yeah, I think it's like 10 watt hours per mile. I think that's what I estimated. So you'd have to put that much battery in there, depending on what. So 100 watt hour battery that's on the boosted is good enough for like 7.5 miles or something, right? So my board that I am working on, it's like I want to make some ridiculous thing, so I think I put like 1 kilowatt worth of batteries, and so that's good for like 60-70 miles of range or some crazy thing, right? So I don't know exactly what the energy consumption is until we test it, but from my calculations, from what other skateboards do, that's what it seems to be. So that's what you have to figure out here. This 18 volt DC motor doesn't mean anything to you. It just means what the motor can operate on, what kind of voltage it can operate. Let's see, where are we here? Oh man, I'm past what I said I was gonna do. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna call it here. Thank you very much for showing up and hanging out with me and talking batteries and, you know, all this other stuff. I will have more videos coming up having to do with batteries and stuff. What am I talking about? Oh, and the transmission one, that one should be interesting. I'm gonna just walk through to the whole process of figuring out what's better for you, or if you can get away from the transmission, or if you should use the transmission. And once I'm done with that video, you guys get to see it up there. All right, thank you for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. All right. How do I think I just do this thing right here. All right, bye.